Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Letterman Row. I'm Austin Ward. We've got another edition of Buckeye Q with the one and only the wide receiver Evan Spencer in the building. This H-back position, we're going to talk about Jalen Gill today, Evan. Paris Campbell really took it to another level last year for the Buckeyes. It's an interesting one because you have dynamic responsibilities. What's the key here if Jalen Gill is going to try and help fill that role? How can he do that? What does it take to play?
Well, I mean, I think with his background from playing running back at a young age, he realizes how to get himself with the football in his hand in space, right? And that's so important when you're playing H. In terms of learning how to run receiver, it's going to be a huge mountain that he's going to have to climb because it's technical, right? And for somebody who's used to getting in space and being able to use that, it's a mountain to climb. But to be able to do that and to start at a young age and know where you're going to start is going to be good for him because he's going to be great when he gets the ball in his hand. And in a couple of the film that a couple of the plays that we've already watched on film, you can see him cutting off routes at the right time to give himself more space to actually operate in the play. So. It's just comforting to see young guys that are making transitions but still finding their best selves within them.
When you look at a spring game, and Jalen Gill had a great one, the most productive pass catcher on the field, 7 receptions. How much stock do you put in a spring game?
Not much. I'm not going to say that I would be short selling spring game results, but at the end of the day, what it is really is an opportunity to get 15 practices in, for the young guys to learn offense in an accelerated time frame, but then to try to simulate a game-esque environment and get some of the guys that probably are going to contribute off of the field earlier, so you can see, okay, when we are in a bind or we do need to be deeper in certain positions, we need some film of some live bullets firing, quote unquote, and watching a cat get 7 catches in a game, definitely validates the fact that, hey, I can operate when I'm tired and I can still be my best self.
For Buckeye Q, it helps because we finally have some new reps to break down. So we've got Jalen Gill, we've got Evan Spencer breaking it down with us at Letterman Row, as always. Let's roll the tape. All right, Evan, that H-back, that versatile position, that seems like it's begging for Jalen Gill. They've got to replace Paris Campbell. Those are big shoes to fill. This guy had a really good spring. He caught my eye from day one. You've seen him now a little bit here in the spring. What stands out to you so far?
Well, I mean, in this route specifically, you can just feel like it's a structural route. He knows that he's got to stem this guy in, which is great. He gets his vertical distance, but the ability to feel this corner, matching man underneath him and feeling his space between him and the safety, and then just working this area. Yes, he's still figuring out how to play H or run inside routes, and that might be different from what he did or didn't do in high school, but. Again, this is natural feeling. Like you kind of got to feel that guy go because you're not looking at him. You know where your spot is off your inside foot, and then you got to just get to your zone, right? But to feel that, work a downhill angle out of that cut, and then give yourself space to make this move, right? These are all signs that I'm going to continue to talk about. These are all signs of just natural. How do I put myself in a space to use my athleticism to make a move, defeat a man, and potentially score. And realizing little small things like just like that guy flashing in front of his face, bending his route a little tighter, and then giving himself space to work on the safety, that's promising things. Now all the things underneath that you got to work on, and on top of that, there's accountability. That's going to class, that's going to everything, but it's all for the greater picture because as you grow and do more of this, right, and you build yourself to be, just a better teammate, a better athlete, a better whatever it is, then everything on terms of output gets better as well.
Yeah. This play here too, I mean, obviously it's not a contested catch, but you talked about the importance of the route. That's what made him so open. So you make an easy play. I mean, that's going to be the biggest adjustment for him is catching that football so much more than what he did in high school.
I mean, and this play is, if we could go back just one last point on that, imagine to that point, right, he doesn't, and this is a corner that's kind of taking a high angle. He doesn't feel this cat come underneath him, and he doesn't curl that down. Now the safety can plant his foot in the ground and make a play on the football.
Sure.
Right? And that's at worst. At best, he's at least there right after the ball's caught, and there's no possibility for this to happen. So that's the importance.
Yeah. And then, as I say, with the contested catch, he's got some tougher ones that he makes. He made 7 in the spring game. He was the most productive player on the field. That's something that I think people wanted him to do it right away, but it's never that easy to come in
Yeah,
and just
right.
become a superstar.
Totally. But sometimes there's workhorses in every spring game, and it's definitely good for some young guys to be those individuals, especially in the spring game. But to your point, this is the potential. This is what we could see, and to be in a high productive role where you're going to see a lot of footballs. And okay, how are you going to respond when you're tired? And when you're tired and you got number 10 on you, and if you don't really run out of that cut, number 10's a D1 athlete too, and he's going to rip it away and or take it 6 the other direction, right? So it's like, there's so many things that you have to start mentally getting yourself towards. Imagine if he is tired and that route isn't what it needs to be, and that's against Michigan State or Penn State or something. That could be 3rd and 3 going the other direction. That's a change, first down bad guys, and we're in a bad position. But it all just kind of paints itself back to the greater picture. And how can I execute when I'm in times like this? Yes, it's the spring game. Yes, it's my 7th catch. But you know what? This is going to get me ready for Penn State. And it's going to get me ready for Michigan State. I might only have 1 catch or 1 play on special teams, but if I'm mentally getting ready now, I can make sure that it's the best damn play that I have of that day or of that game or of that week.
Speaking of spring game, not all the footage is going to be great, just like the reps don't all count the same. So that's Jalen Gill flashing there at the top. And this is an example, I think, too, Evan, that they're not always going to be jet sweeps where you get to just dial it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to have – Paris Campbell learned this, too. You're going to have to make some true receiver hard plays across the middle if you're going to be out there, because you've said it and you know it better than anybody. The responsibilities for an Ohio State wide receiver are not just to go score touchdowns.
100%. And I think in this one, this is a good view, too. If you can just get to right before the ball is snapped, you can see, but I mentioned leverage a little bit ago. He's understanding that he's head up right now, right? But I know that if I'm running an inside route, a slant, a drag, whatever this route, actually is, I know that if I'm head up, I have to do something on the top, whether that's speed or to get him to flinch this way. I have to do something to get in here so it's ball, me, man, and not, the other way around. So again, if you start to slowly creep through this, he uses speed to get his leverage, and he keeps his leverage right there, puts his body in between his man, so then the ball's unobstructed, right? And, yes, you can say that this is something that's intuitive. If you're just playing ball, I'm just going out there and catching. But sometimes when you break it down to something as simple as that, if I can always put myself in between my man and the ball, I'm always, they have to go through me to get it.
There you go.
And if you're young and you're realizing that, that's, 100% good for you.
Yeah, the next step there for Jalen Gill, trying to become a regular factor there, or maybe replace Paris Campbell. See, there's a lot of guys vying to do that in a deep wide receiver room for Ohio State. Evan Spencer's been a part of it. He can break it down for us all year long. Well, Jalen Gill, he'll be part of that for us as we go on. That's Evan Spencer. I'm Austin Ward. This has been Buckeye Q. We'll see you next time.